Hello, everybody. Welcome back to session 214 of BC Lions podcast. I'm your host, Ascent, and this is my co-host, JS. Once
Hello,
again,
hello.
we're on a two-man episode today as Hammer's out working the field in the Canadians game again, but he should be back for next week, along with hopefully you, of course, but all three of us. Feels like it's been forever.
It really does. It's been a busy summer with people working and doing different
Yeah,
things. Hopefully
I,
they'll be
I,
able to get that going soon. You've been our
yeah.
Iron Man.
I've been a
Don't
constant every time, right? But
don't think we've
yeah,
ever done an episode without you ever.
no, for 3 years, yeah. So it's an Iron Man streak. Actually, I was what's the funny thing is was that I initially because before the Stamps game yesterday, I initially because we're recording this the day after the Lions win, right? So I was uh I was initially thinking like, oh, I might not be able to watch the whole game, right? Because I got like a thing to do with another friend of mine, but nope, it was nope, you canceled. So I'm like, okay, I can watch the whole game now and basically just do what I usually do. So um
Oh,
yeah,
that worked out.
and what a game that was, right? It was it was quite it was another stressful win, just like the Hamilton one, but I'd say it was stressful in a much di different way. When
Well, what would
uh,
this team be if they didn't stress us out right till, I guess it was the second to last play of the game, right? They had us worrying, they've not really so much this year, but in previous years, this team under, Mike Benaviden's defense has blown so many games that they were leading late that
yeah,
that you know, I remember in other games this year, we would say in the group, oh, they're leading by X amount, but I have no faith they'll hold on to it. But to their credit, they did so. And the Winnipeg game they held on to. Well, they didn't hold on, they expanded on it. This game, they weren't able to expand on it, but they held on. They bent a lot,
but didn't break
not
a lot.
quite. They
And
hung in
yes,
there and got it done right at the end with a huge interception to
from TJ Lee.
really
Yeah,
really get them in good shape. And as a usual thing when I'm on, I'll make my dig at the new playoff format. If they were 4-5 next year, they're pretty well guaranteed a home playoff game.
yeah, we're not worried. Yeah, we're not worried anymore about missing the playoffs anymore at this point if for next year. But yeah,
For now,
this
they're
year
still
it's
in
still
jeopardy.
it's
They are in, what are they, fourth place in the West at the
fourth
moment.
place.
And
Yeah,
I
well,
have
we're
not
also
checked this.
recording this. Sorry, we're also recording this after Winnipeg just beat the Ottawa Red Blacks. So had Winnipeg lost the game today, we would have been third in the West, right?
But
Because we
BC
already beat
is
them.
in a playoff spot. You're right.
Yep.
They're in a playoff spot because they are 4-5, and
Crossover.
Hamilton is the 3-6. So we'd be heading to Toronto for the East semifinal if the playoffs started then. Ironically, Calgary
Mhm.
is at 4-6. They are also above Hamilton, but they don't have a double crossover. So,
No, you
and
can't be last place in the division and be a playoff team with this
no,
year.
you can't.
uh, yeah, boy. Um, Yeah, I guess well, I'll get into it a little bit more about how this went out with the gut check, but I also want to quickly mention that earlier in the week before the game, it was announced by BC that they were going to put Travis Lulay and Ryan Phillips into the Wall of Fame, and to that we both say that it's very well deserved inductions.
Absolutely no question about that.
Yeah, Ryan Phillips especially. I mean, he's had like a great career the entire time he's been with the. I think he's a lifer Lion, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
And that's only fitting that he gets that honor to just be recognized with some of the greats of this team. And really proud of him, really proud of Lulay. It's a shame that
yeah. Well,
Lulay's time there were so many injuries. He probably could have
yeah,
played more. Maybe they would have not won another Grey Cup if he didn't have unfortunate injury troubles. But either way, very,
yeah.
very well deserved.
Short. Yeah,
No doubt about that.
the shoulder injuries especially, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it was. Yeah, Ryan Phillips, I mean, like, yeah, he's one of the rare BC Lions with multiple Grey Cup championships under his belt, like, because he was on the 2006 team as well. So, uh, yeah, so, yeah, very well deserved. And again, like, they were pretty much our childhood heroes, right? Which is kind of funny considering, well, that's a lot. The 2011 team, I mean, this season so far is very much shades of 2011, where BC is like down in the dumps at 1-5, right, close to 1-6, and then they're pulling themselves out of it. And who knows, they might. Well, Edmonton's starting to slip a little down this, starting to slip a little. Maybe, well, maybe Saskatchewan can lose a few games here and there. I mean, we don't know until we're not future seers, right? We're not we don't have
No,
clairvoyance or anything.
there's still
Um,
an opportunity there. We'll just have to see how it goes over the next 2 weeks. They've got Saskatchewan next
mhm,
Sunday, which I will be attending. It'll be my first regular season game this season. I was at
great.
the Langford game back in May, and then I think it's Ottawa after that, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 weeks from yeah, I think yeah, it's gonna be a road home and home
But there's a
with
bye week. There's a bye week in the middle with because they're always off on Labor Day weekend
yes. Yeah, that's why well BC doesn't have any Labor Day rivalries, so it's
until the Halifax team comes in and we'll have a coast to coast rivalry.
yeah, keep dreaming about the Halifax team, but
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? There you go. Anyway, big win. Lions got
yep.
3 straight wins. You can't dispute that. It gives them some momentum heading into Saskatchewan and or heading into BC Place versus Saskatchewan, and they get 10 days off. Obviously, 9 days from today, but that's important because they had the short week playing on Saturday the 8th, and they play Thursday the 13th. But now they play the last game of the week next week, which means lots of time to rest up, heal injuries, and just recuperate a little bit, especially since they won't have to travel for the game either. I think that's something important that they can use to their advantage. Of course, BC Place is going to be full of green on the
Uh
23rd. So
unfortunately, right,
is it
it's
really?
been like
It's not really a fully normal home game, but it's still going to be a
no.
lot of fun, and I'm sure they'll be ready for it.
Yeah, it would certainly be a nice birthday gift win for Hammer because his birthday is actually coming up pretty soon right now, like within within the weekend, right? So well,
Yes,
this would be a nice like a post birthday gift win for him as compared to
absolutely.
the last one, which was like pre-birthday gift win, right? But yeah, when um but yeah, well, if we can beat Saskatchewan, I think BC will just shoot right up those. Maybe it'll be like number 4 in power ranking somewhere. Right? I
Wouldn't
think
that be
I think
awesome?
so. Yeah, considering we've been what like number 8 at worst, because we can't be worse than the Red Blacks, even at the lowest point.
Nope, we cannot.
So, yeah, but yeah, this was basically, yes, we've won 3 straight wins, but all 3 of those wins, there's still a lot to kind of be critical about. I'm not. I'm certainly probably going to be more critical in this game. You know, just like the last one, where just like the last game against Hamilton, where there was stretches of time where nothing happened. I mean, same thing happened here. It was basically a stretch of time where not a whole lot happened, especially in the first quarter. BC had nothing going in the first quarter. Right?
That's
It
the
was
trend we've seen. That's the trend we've
like,
seen over and over this year. Is these slow starts, and
oh, yeah.
eventually those are going to catch up to you. So, like, once again, they need to kind of show up when the game starts. Don't show up an hour later.
Yeah, we haven't really seen. Well, we've only seen like one full 60-minute effort for a win, and that was against Edmonton in last touchdown Kelowna game, arguably. I'm
Indeed.
other wins were yeah, other wins, especially the big win against Winnipeg on the road. That was like also a game where BC's offense was like stopping and starting all the time, right? But that
Yeah,
was more forgivable.
they only exploded at the end of the game.
Yeah, and in this game, yeah, it was again it was a slow start. Like they caught fire in the third quarter and some of the fourth, and then they almost choked it away. But then yeah, I was still hung on and won, right? And I've officially aged 20 years from that game.
I think we all did.
Yep. If my hair doesn't go completely gray by the end of the year, I'm gonna be surprised. So uh so yeah,
Yeah,
I guess one more thing I gotta say before we get into the statistics is the fact that I Vernon Adams Jr. did get injured in the middle of this game. I do hope he's all right. Right? I mean,
I
he's
hope so too. He was a
uh,
fan favorite here in BC for sure. One of my top quarterbacks that the Lions have had, at least while I've been a fan. So definitely best wishes for a speedy recovery and hopefully to see him. Hopefully we'll see him back on the field soon.
yeah. Well, if it's a concussion, you can never really tell how long it'll be out. Right? It's usually then the one of the few injuries that are indefinite in terms of a timetable for returning. Right? So
Indeed, they are.
yeah. Well, I mean, if he's out for like he's had a fantastic QBR, right? Where he's thrown two interceptions this year, and he has 20 plus touchdowns, which is like an insane ratio, right? And
It's incredible.
the fact that Calgary's 4-6 despite that is just boggles the mind, right? It was just
I know. It's just like
mm,
completely insane in a good way.
in a good way for us, right? Because we want Calgary to continue to fail
We do.
downwards. And also Winnipeg, but unfortunately Winnipeg got buoyed by easily beating Ottawa, right?
Ain't no shock there.
But yeah, we can't be too greedy today. But
Nope.
yeah, we got enough for 1 week. So yeah, let's
Yes.
get into the statistics for this game. So yeah, Nathan Rourke went 15 for 22 for 301 yards, two touchdowns and one interception. And that one interception was like really not his fault. It was like one of those. It's been a common. It's been a common interception for him now, where it's just been a deflected INT. Right, and it was just
Yeah, not his
um
fault. Unfortunately, they charge it to the quarterback. I would rather them see them change the stats, or if it was deflected like that, I don't know,
yeah,
find a way to not charge it to the quarterback in question.
yeah. If well, especially if it's deliberately like deflected and into the arms of someone. Right, it was
Exactly. Yeah, you get it.
uh. But yeah, but yeah, that interception was also just a bang bang interception, right? It was not not the fault of work on that
Anybody
one.
in
But
particular? No, it was not.
yeah, and then 14 yards on average per throw, and his longest was 85, which was like really high. But again, he's Works just seems to be good every game for one of those long distance throws that will just completely tilt the game entirely in one play, right? That's nice. And
Like
also to tack on to that, like 3 carries for 39 yards, the one touchdown late in the game, and then of course um 13 rushing yards on average as long as it was 29. Right.
he
So
really does have those shades of Lulay. Remember the 60-yard run Lulay had in the 2011 West Final
oh
for a
yeah,
touchdown?
God. I
That was that
yeah.
was incredible.
I was actually watching the 2011 Grey Cup the TFN documentary about the 2011 Lions, right? I saw that play and I went, oh man, those are good days.
Yes, they sure
Um,
were.
yeah. So yeah, we have a dual threat quarterback at least here. He's got significant rushing yards, including a touchdown, so that's nice to see. Um, and speaking of rushing, Horvath had 15 carries for 102 yards, so another 100 plus yard game for Horvath. I think he's probably on track to be a West All Star if he keeps doing this, right? And tacked on a
It'll be well.
touchdown, 7 yards on average, and 40-yard run was his longest. So yeah, he's once again just spectacular. I call him the white Derrick Henry for a reason. Uh, and he also tacked on 3 catches on 3 targets for 32 yards, 11 on average, and his longest was 15. So yeah, he's been doing it all in the passing game and especially the running game. But unfortunately, For the yin of Horvath, the yang is Butler, who only had 6 carries for 11 yards and no touchdowns. Two was his average and 9 yard. One was his longest, and he had no catches. He was kind of concerningly invisible this time again. I say concerningly because we kind of have this need to have that reputation of having a 1-2 punch at running back, and it just doesn't seem to be shaping up that way lately.
Well,
Right?
hopefully it will. There's still time, but like, yeah, I would agree
I'm
with that
ho-
assessment.
I'm hoping it shows up against Saskatchewan. That would be great. But um, so yeah. So for the receivers, Jermaine Jackson went 2 for 3 for 89 yards. No touchdown. The longest catch was that 85-yard uh throw that we'll talk about in the recap later. McKinnis went 2 for 3 for 86 yards. Uh, no touchdown. His longest catch was 59. Hatcher went 7 for 10 for 83 with 2 touchdowns. 12 was average, and his longest catch was 21. So Hatcher definitely had the most productive game in this one compared to the last one. I think he was missing a beater. Like everybody was dropping balls in that Hamilton game, right? But
He
yeah, this
was.
time, yeah, much less dropsies in this game for so whoever was putting Vaseline on in that Hamilton game, he got banished. Or he got left at YVR. Right? Uh, and yeah, Katoy, he made and Katoy, uh, compared to the last game, disappointing kind of stat line for him, only the 1 catch on 2 targets for 11 yards. And yeah, it's funny because he actually had his family in attendance in Calgary. They paid like money to see him make 1 catch, which is
Unfortunately, yeah. Hopefully, I'm sure his family was still proud to see him just seeing their son playing professional football, you know.
playing
If my kid was there one day, I'd be so thrilled. Even if they didn't get a single catch, I would be very thrilled.
mm, okay, well that's yeah, that's your perspective. Mine is, I'd be like, I want to see my son get like 10 catches for 700 yards
That's
become
funny.
become a legend overnight, right? Uh, and of course, Barry Hill, the third, he made his return in the lineup. So yeah, our receiver core is healthy once again. And but yeah, Barry Hill only got the 1 target. He was like relegated to really a lot of the kick return duties. And of course, you know, no, but the story about kick returners is haven't been very good, and we'll talk
No,
about
they
that in
have
a little
not.
bit. But the defense had 2 sacks from Betts and Hayden Harris. 1 interception from TJ Lee. That was at the very end of the game, and no
They didn't.
fumbles. No, oh yeah, they didn't. It
They had
came
no
up to one line
turnovers until right at the end. They lost the turnover battle, but they got the one that mattered most right at the end.
right at the end, and yeah, and no fumbles, no turnover on downs. Lee with 9 tackles along with his 1 interception, so he was definitely our defensive MVP of the game. Uh, Ken Jr. with 6 tackles, thank you with 5, and the rest of the team with less than 4. And then on special teams, Sean White only had the 1 field goal made and 3 for 3 on extra points. So never a perfect game for him, which is always nice. Uh, Meyer had 5 punts, averaging 45 yards, his longest was 58. And then it continues. Bill Hill up the kick return stats, 6 return catches on special teams, 3 punt returns for 37 yards and 3 kickoffs for 73 for a total of 110 yards. You're thinking, oh, that's okay totals, but then he averages 13 yards per punt, and his longest was 18, and then he averaged 20. He did a little bit better on the kickoff. He averaged 24 yards per kickoff, and his longest was 31. Had a decent kickoff run right in this one, but wasn't it was still kind of
Still not very strong from the special teams unit. I mean,
no, a lot.
what else is new?
Yeah, a lot of the time in this game, BC was starting at the 20 or just past the 20, or even at some points, like even at the 10, it was just
A rough
and
go.
I also have to add that Jermaine Jackson also chipped in with like one punt return for 5 yards as well. But that was like, oh, they're just trying everything and seeing what sticks. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that we're still like halfway. We're halfway into the season now, and we haven't. It's just a lot. It's just a long holding pattern of not a whole lot happening for our special teams return guys, right? And just it's another day of waiting for that touchdown to happen
One day.
one day. But yeah, let's talk about the Calgary stats too for you, JS, if you can.
All right, I will read what I got here. Vernon Adams, before his injury, went 13 for 23, 148 yards and one touchdown. So that's fairly pedestrian for him. And he
Mhm.
had three carries for 28 yards, with the longest being 11. And when Josh Love takes over, he went 6 for 10 for 58 yards, no touchdowns, and one crucial interception. And his
Mm,
longest throw was 32. Quincy Vaughn had one touchdown on three carries, and they got 4 yards.
yep,
There you go.
extra
With the
yardage.
running backs here, Mills had 10 carries for 49 yards, no touchdowns. His longest was 19, and he had two catches for 18 yards, his longest being 10. And then how do we say this? Choquette, I think his name is.
Chocolate, yeah, like
Had
chocolate, but with no L.
There you go. Choquette had three carries for 11 yards, longest being four. Then moving on to the receivers here, Brissett had three catches for 40 yards, his longest was 32. Philpott had four catches, 36 yards, longest was 15, and he had one rush for 8 yards. Tevin Jones, three catches for 31, longest is 14. Brooks had two catches for 27 yards and a touchdown. Alfred had two catches for 20 yards. Barnes
Yeah,
had two catches for 19 yards, longest was 14 yards. And then Aju had one catch on three targets for 15 yards. It's funny, I can see you following along on the stat sheet. Your name
yeah,
keeps
yeah.
popping
My
up.
clicker.
It's kind of
No,
funny.
yeah. I'm like I'm following along with you. I just want to note on the Joe inclusion. I put that there because he actually did come back from a suspension for domestic violence or gender-based violence, right? So, um,
Hmm.
uh, you know how I feel about you know how we feel about that. Like same with same thing with Chad Kelly. It's like when you have
Yes.
like I do not like that.
No, I don't like that either. I think the campaigns the BC Lions have done about this issue for many, many years, I've always been supportive of it.
Yeah, be more than a bystander. Let's plug that more often than yeah.
We should. We should. We should make a point to do that. That's important.
But yeah,
Um,
I'm glad he didn't get like any impact in his game at least. But that's
I
the
think we can agree with that.
yeah
Anyway, where are we
defense.
here? The defense had one sack from Hicks, one interception with Johnson Jr., two fumble recoveries from Alexander and Thomas. So they had their three turnovers. BC only had one, but that one was right when it counted.
Hmm.
And in terms of tackles, nobody else had more than four except Johnson Jr. with five. So nobody really starred in that department for Calgary. And
No.
then in terms of special teams, Jude, how do I say this? McCatamney?
McAtamney.
McAtamney, there you go.
Yep.
He
Irish
went
name.
he went 4 for 5 on field goals, and that one miss. I remember I was listening to the game on the radio, going to get our Dairy Queen Blizzards for Miracle Treat Day yesterday. Listening
Yep,
to the
I had
radio,
one of those.
and there was no rouge because of the rule change.
Yeah, we got saved by the rule change. I thought, okay, now we like it, but yeah, in the moment it was like before the game was like, I'll bring back the rouge, and now it's like, you know what? This is good.
It felt wrong, but I
But
took it. How about that?
yeah, and it's funny because that was also a very I mean, like Jude was making field goals like left and right. It was annoying, but it was a sort of like it was an easier field goal for him to make, and he just missed it. And that was
Yeah,
huge, right? That was like a major point in the game, right? Where again, had he made that, would have been might have been a little bit out of reach for us, but
it very well
uh,
might have. Oh,
and also a missed extra point as well. So uh,
yeah, missed extra points.
that's
Then
4 points off the board. Right, those 4 points would have been important.
yes, 4 points, not 3 points because the Rouge is gone. Anyway, Vassett had 6 punts averaging 50 yards each. His longest was 64. In terms of special teams, McAllister had 8 returns on special teams, 3 punts for 33 yards, and 5 kickoffs for 142 yards,
My God, just
175 yards total. That's not bad at all
yeah.
by any means.
Again, everybody's doing this to us, right? It doesn't get any less painful to like list the opposing teams, special teams, and they're all doing better than ours, right? No matter what.
Literally, they really are. And then in
In
terms of
fact,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, like, in fact, like he's averaging more than our punt returner, right, or our kick returner. So, uh,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that sigh is how I feel.
Yeah, average, yeah, yeah, average like 11 per punt return and average 29 for a kickoff, and yeah, just
Yeah.
have a better game than us. But again, just every time. I think even Ottawa is a pretty good kick returner and Pimpleton as well. And I'm going like, maybe in the off season, maybe we should get someone like Pimpleton on our team for. But then I think, oh no, the last time we got a returner from Ottawa with Williams, it wasn't very good.
There you
So and
go.
then so
Now, I
I
guess
don't
the
know.
last couple things to read. Penalties. What do we have here? BC had nine
Penalties.
penalties for 89 yards. Calgary 4 for 30. So
And did you hear
decent.
that Calgary? Well, the funny thing about this game in terms of the penalties, Calgary is the most penalized team in the league, and BC is the least penalized team in the league. So
Well, it doesn't look
logically,
like it based on those stats.
so logically, no, it's a complete role reversal. Right?
Yeah, tell me how that makes any sense.
No sense, but
None
yeah,
whatsoever.
it's weird. Yeah, Calgary won the turnover battle
They
and
won the
the
possession
penalties
battle too.
and
And thing is,
the possession.
they had 31-52, BC 28-08. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of the big stat categories BC lost in this game, but we won overall, and that's what matters.
Yeah, again, just goes to show
Only
you that.
stats at the end of the day, everything we just read to you doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the scoreboard, and that's where we won today.
Yeah, it somehow just defies logic that this win happened, right? But I think yeah, it was definitely this was just one of those games where it was won by individual. Well, it was won by a trend, right? I mean, certainly in the second half, I think BC definitely did a lot to control most of the game in the second half, right? And it almost got away from them in the last 5 minutes, right? And it was worrying, but yeah. I think that's what really helped BC to solidify a win in the end. It was just times in this game, Calgary could have run away with this, especially in the first quarter where BC's offense was struggling mightily. But all Calgary get out was field goals, which was important, right?
Yeah. So that's another example of the bend don't break principle that BC really followed well today or yesterday,
oh,
and
to an
was the reason.
extreme degree.
Indeed, but it was the reason they won, so it's a good thing.
Yeah. So so I got that's it for the statistics. So I guess on the other side of our break, we'll talk about how the game went and yeah, and that'll be pretty much it because like outside of the Ottawa game today, it's just yeah, we can just end the episode after the recap. So yeah, we'll see you in a
See you
bit.
on the other side. Bye.
Okay, we're back. It's been a bit. JS had to, delete some stuff from the because distractions and everything. But yeah,
I
let's
am
get
back
to
here now.
yeah, we're back and let's get to the recap of this game. So yeah, unlike the last game, there was no pregame show this time there is, and quite a few things that I made note of before the kickoff. So for one thing, it rained quite heavily in Calgary before this game, and I think that was pretty apparent as the game went along, right? Especially with the fumble that happened. But
That's
not only
always
was
a
it
factor.
rainy, Yeah. Not only was it rainy, it was 12 degrees, which is autumn weather. That's not summer. Uh,
Also,
so
it's nice and
on
pleasant, so it doesn't get like outrageously hot as it tends to in Calgary during that time of year.
yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's kind of like a boon for them. They're freezing in summer somehow, but
Although I'm sure the
uh,
rain was not as brutal as whatever the heck I experienced going to work today. There was a wild
uh,
little rainstorm for about 3 or 4 minutes. It was so intense. Anyway,
anyways, yeah, and then another thing is that I noticed there's barely anyone in attendance. Like the stands were so empty. I thought I was looking at a Florida Panthers game before they won their Stanley Cups. But it was uh and BC had also won 5 out of 6. Well, now it's guess what?
six,
Six out of
seven.
seven. And then um yeah, we got a meme. uh
Is
and
that a
then yeah, you're probably doing it too, even though I can't see you. So
I am. I know that humor's it's a little for people younger than me, but I still think it's funny. So there you go.
yeah, I think it's funny too because it's like, it's reminiscent of my old the things I used to find funny as a kid myself, right? So so yeah, Bailey Hill returned from the IO. So I mean he only had the one target in this game, but it was still welcome presence at least. And then apparently Calgary scored 30 plus points in eight consecutive games, and that ended today. Right? We're 26, so
Ended
it
by
could
the ended by the hair of our chinny chin chin. How about that?
yeah, that could have been nine. But
Literally.
yeah, and then Glenn Suter was saying that well, ever since McKenna joined our defense, he's been one of the key factors in the BC defense, turning around and not allowing so many yards and points lately, right? uh, I thought, oh, that's an interesting way to think about it. I thought it was more to do with well, their backs were against the wall, and they knew they had to start playing better while the season was going to be over, right? So they were cornered pretty much, and
Yeah,
then
that's I'd say that's accurate.
yeah, and of course, yeah, Betts and clearance hits on both sides, so they're tied with two bombers for the league lead. In fact, I'm not sure if that changed with today's bomber game, but yeah, from that point before the game, there was four players tied for the league with 6 sacks, which is unheard of. I just
It's been a good year for defense, for hungry defenses who like to. I don't know where I'm going with this metaphor. Anyway,
the hungry hippos of defenses.
there you go. That's good. Kind of lost my train of thought. I was like,
Yeah,
what am I doing here? You came into the rescue. Hungry, hungry hippos. I like that.
yeah, section in this case of the hungry horses and lions, but and cats, but yeah, and then I guess one last thing is that the majority think Calgary is going to win, and I even posted in our group chat about how there was some CFL writers, and most of them thought Calgary was going to win. I said, not today, right? So it's kind of funny how 2 out of these 3 BC wins have been as the underdog in these situations, right? Although I think from the Winnipeg game, it was understandable at least, right? But from this one, I would have thought it was more of like a 50-50 chance for both teams, right? But um, anyways, so yeah, let's get into the kickoff. So McAllister would return the opening kickoff to the Calgary 42, and then after an RPO QB slide from Adams for 8 yards, Jones takes the toss to convert for a 6 yard run. Betts is called on an offside jump on 2nd and 10 to get to 2nd and 5, but
I hate those giving
I
them free mulligans like that. Hate, hate, hate it.
yeah, well, we got to revenge later in the game because I know Rourke had a hard count, hard count that helped with an offside for us, right? But that's later in the game. Um, but yeah, but thankfully Adams throws incomplete to Brissett in the middle to force McAtamney to nail the extreme long distance 55-yard field goal to take the early lead 3-0. And then, of course, TSN says that Rourke has 3 clear 400-plus-yard games, all of them versus Calgary. So Rourke basically owns McMahon Stadium and the Stampeders for the
Hence
majority
why
of
we
his
won five
still,
out of six
still
of five of
6 out of
the
7
most recent
now.
6 games there. Yeah, 6 out of 7. It's because of his dominance in this stadium.
Yeah, and that's what I like to hear because back in the 2010s, I hated playing Calgary and McMahon Stadium because they would always beat us. Now the
My,
shoe's on the other foot. Right?
as Michael Scott would say, my how the turntables.
uh, okay, yeah, sure, but office memes, they're quite ubiquitous, but
They are.
so yeah, after that stat, Butler's tackle for a loss of 1 on first down. McInnes apparently catches and converts on 2nd and 11 for 16 yards, but after a Calgary challenge, because the ball was moving in McInnes's hands before he dropped to the ground, it was overturned and to an incomplete pass. So that was a good challenge by Dave Dickinson there.
Think it was the right call too. It sucks, but
I saw that too. Like I saw the ball move a little bit in his hand, and I'm going, well, that's going to be incomplete. So
and it was.
so that was a 2-and-out. So yeah, this is like the start of the awful first quarter for BC's offense. But McAllister returned the punt to the 38. Joe catches in the middle of the field and converts. I said 20-yard, but it was more like 15 on 2nd and 6. That was the only catch he had in the game. And then Alford catches on the right side of the field and runs up to convert for 16 yards on first down. Mills runs, spins, and avoids a bunch of tackles on 2nd and 2 to get to 19 yards up to the 9. And yeah, this is what I'm dreading. Like, oh God, they're going to take the lead here. But props to the defense. Like, there were the first time that many times that they would be in goal-to-goal range, nothing. Because Colden here defends the pass underneath a throw. So, like, it was like a really underthrown ball by Adams, and he defended it anyways to prevent the touchdown pass on 2nd down to force McAtamney to kick in just a chip shot to extend the lead to 6-0. And then we're going, okay, 6-0. Okay, that's not
Six
too
nothing is
bad.
not too bad, not at all. Yeah.
And then Jermaine Jackson catches and is about to convert. So this was like on the I think it was on 2nd down on their drive, after the 40. He was about to convert for a first down, but then like after a few steps, he loses control of the ball and fumbles it away.
That's what
It,
they say. The rain is always an equalizer and can make good teams
it wasn't
suffer. And
even it wasn't even raining that much compared to forward game, but it was still like he just immediately fumbled it away just after a few steps, and then Calgary gets it back at the 43, and I'm going, oh no, no.
but once again, they didn't break here either. So
Yeah, they
it's
didn't break
impressive.
it. Yeah, I mean they got into the red zone, but Adams was sacked by Betts to have him become the brief league leader in sacks in a botched play for a loss of 3 yards, and then Adams throws incomplete the third straight field goal by McAtamney to extend the lead to 9-0. So these were the first 3 field goals, and it could have been like 17-0 at this point, right? Or worse. 21.
Theoretically, 21-0 easily. So
Yeah.
I'd say holding them to 3 straight field goals. They give up a touchdown on one of those instead.
We,
Correct
we,
me if I'm
we,
wrong, but we go to because if they won by 4, the game would go to overtime.
yeah, well, we would have been talking about a whole different game now, but
Pretty
yeah.
much, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, on the last drive for BC in the first quarter, Rourke throws the hatch on first down, converts for 11 yards, and then BC's call for procedure to force them backwards and 5 yards to 2nd and 14, and then there's just a check down past the Hatcher to force the Lions to punt at the end of the quarter. So yeah, that was just complete awfulness. But the score was still gettable. It was just like they
The
can't.
defense, Mike Benavides' defense held the minute really for that one. And when do we ever say that?
Yeah, I call it the Bike Benavides defense now. So
Yeah,
for the most part, Bike Benavides
think
showed
Mike
up.
Mike Benavides is still hidden somewhere. I'm not sure where.
No, well, no, he's have just multiple personalities, where it's like just the one personality where he becomes a decent defensive coordinator, the Mike
There you go.
Benavides alter ego. That's
We got to make a
um
meme about that.
yeah. I'm making memes wherever possible, even when Abe gone, right?
Yep.
uh, so yeah, second quarter, BC, yeah, the graphics thrown up for TSN said BC has only 20 passing yards and -1 rushing point in the first quarter,
So 19 net yards on offense.
and somehow Nathan Work gets 300 passing yards by the end of this, despite like one quarter, like nerving him completely. Like it was
So that's
weird.
nearly 100 yards per quarter for the last 3 quarters. That's amazing.
That's so. And also -1 rushing yard in the first quarter, but then Horvath makes up for that with like 100, right?
So even more impressive, 30 plus yards per quarter. Nothing to complain about at all.
Yeah, but since we're still starting out with Calgary driving here, so Philpott catches and converts for 15 yards on first down, and then after a loss of a yard on the first down rush, Philpott only manages 5 yards on a short throw to first that stamps to Hunt for the very first time in the game. And then yeah, Jackson returns to punt to the 19. That was the 5 yard. Uh, the only time Jackson did the special teams thing, and Horvath catches on the left side of the field to convert on second down for 8 yards. Work runs and converts for 11 yards, but he's called back for holding on Woodruff. In fact, yeah, this was a drive where Woodruff kept holding. I think it was twice on this drive, and it was super frustrating, right? But after that holding call, but it was first and 20, right? This is like the amazing highlight reel every time for Work. He rolls out on first and 20 to the right side of the field, and he passes a beautiful pass down to Jackson between two Calgary defenders and goes up for like 85
That's
yards.
incredible.
I
That's
was
how that's how you start to flip the stats. To
flipped
go
the
from
script even.
just get everybody into the game and obviously they scored on the next play
Yeah,
there.
they
So
almost scored on that pass, but it wasn't. But they eventually did because yeah, Horvath cleaned it up with a run, right, to make the Calgary lead down to a 9-7. So yeah, that was just in an instant. It went from two possessions to within a field goal. So um, yeah, McAllister then returned the kickoff to the 46, and then Adams rushes and avoids the Betts tackle to convert for 6 yards on second down. Philpott returned on a route to convert for 8 yards and second and 5. So he was like on a curl route. He like returned it really a lot, but he went backwards just to catch the ball for 5 yards, and then Thomas Oliver was called for accidental DPI. I thought it was going to be actual DPI, right? But
the
was only
rule is always if your feet get tangled up, the CFL has this idea of accidental, which
that's such a Canadian thing, isn't it?
I don't like. I've always had kind of mixed feelings about that penalty. Maybe we can get into that in a bye week episode. But anyway, benefits BC there, but they gave us a touchdown on the drive anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, yeah, maybe we'll have like a top five section 214 you know top five section 214 gripes about the CFL or something like that.
Stewie, if you want to change a rule that we'd like, there you go.
I would that or just change it to oopsie DPI, not but yeah, it's only a 10-yard penalty. Then Mills runs for 7 yards to get to the red zone again, and then runs on back-to-back, converting on short yardage, and then Adams this touchdown throw really made me angry because I thought it was going to be intercepted, but Brooks like whips the ball away from Kent's arms and it secures it for a touchdown. Right? It was,
Wasn't
I
it? I
mean,
think that was the one that should have been. Was it that one that should have been offensive pass interference, or was that one later in the game?
I think that's later in the game that you're
There
thinking
was
of,
there was
but
one that was really blatant and kind of felt like. Do you remember at least this one was kind of like what do they call it? The fail Mary. Remember the Seahawks and the Packers back in
yeah.
2012? Kind of felt like that.
Well, I don't think. Well, it's not the same situation, obviously.
No,
With
of course not, but the
yeah,
same kind of
but
idea, kind of, yeah. Anyway, random fun
I
facts.
not a fun fact for me. I don't like remembering that game, but
True.
but yeah. Anyways, yeah. I hate. I mean, like props to Brissett for the catch, but I felt like, oh my God, that was going to be an interception. It wasn't. But
Nope.
yeah, they extended the lead to 15-7. But the extra point was no good. So there's something right. That's important for later on too. So yeah, Barry Hill then returns the kickoff to the BC 40. So that was like the one okay special teams run
But
getting into the 40.
even that only gets you to where you would get the ball if it was like a field goal or a rouge. So like
Mm,
not even that exciting.
yeah,
I'm
but
so negative.
I can be negative too at times, but yeah, it's just but yeah, Horvath trucks. But this was a good drive here because Horvath trucks a run to convert on first down for 20 yards. So he like trucked through guys and did all that, and then Rourke rushes for 29 yards to the left sideline on first down, and I was like, okay, they're immediately in scoring range here, and then Horvath rushes for 9 yards to get to the red zone for the short yardage convert. And then Hatcher then catches the first throw of the draw. So it was like all rushing. It was like all rushing up until Hatcher catches like the one throw for the touchdown, right? And there was yeah, I think Calgary's rushing defense is also last place in the league, so that kind of showed up a little there, right? Where they had no answer for a rushing attack on that one, right?
And then we changed it up on them right at the end of the drive when they're expecting run, throw the pass, and it worked. They didn't get
Worked.
the 2 points though, so they were
Didn't
trailing
Still
15 to
trailing,
13. Yeah.
but it's still, still anyone's game, right? And McAllister takes the kickoff to the 30, and then it was like back-to-back incompletion with a bat down by Nathan Sherry on first down with the turnout punt for Calgary. And this angered me too. Like even when special teams does something good, it still works out in Calgary's favor because there was a partial blocked punt, but it was to the left side of the field, and there was nobody there in that area of the field, so it worked out for Calgary anyways. Right? It forced BC to start to drive at the 24. uh,
Yeah, just bad luck on that one.
just oh my God.
I know.
Uh, but yeah, and of course the bad luck doesn't stop there because you know, for this drive, Barry Hill catches and converts for 50 yards. Yeah, okay, here's another Woodruff holding penalty to negate that, and then yeah, Horvath only
It was
manages.
blatant. It was
Yep.
blatant too. I was watching. I didn't watch all of the game live, but I saw this one and I was like, "Oh, it's so obvious." And
So
just like
obvious.
I would have had sympathy was with like a one of those marginal holding calls, but no,
Mhm.
that was clear as day, and it was really annoying because it took a 50-yard play off the board.
Off the board. And I wasn't even excited for that 50-yard play because like I saw the flag and I go, oh, let me guess, it's Woodruff. And then lo and behold,
Oh, you knew it before it even happened.
I knew before it even happened. I'm
Oh my
like,
goodness.
"Ugh, we can't stop shooting ourselves in the foot here." But
Nope.
yeah, it forced BC to punt, and then like it was near the end of the second quarter. So Calgary does after multiple conversions get in the field goal range, and then McTamney nails that half-ending 44-yard field goal to extend their lead to 18-13. So once again, BC is trailing at halftime, which is notable, right? I mean,
But
BC
you
seems
know,
to,
they were still able to do it, so there you go.
so yeah, and then yeah, and so terrible first quarter, better second quarter, and third quarter. I think this is where BC controls a lot of the game here, from here until like in the middle of the fourth quarter. Because well, for one thing, BC has the opening kickoff. So Burial returned it to the 30 in the third quarter after conflicting unnecessary roughness penalties, which was interesting.
Oh, you
But
okay?
yeah, I'm good. Sorry, yeah,
All
Trevor
right.
Harris is trying to kill me from beyond again. But um, yeah, Butler runs for 8 yards, and then Horvath runs for 41 yards to get into Stamps territory. So it's another solid
Beautiful.
run for Horvath again. and then Rourke gunned the pass to Couture like his only catch of the game with his family in attendance for 11 yards on 2nd and 11, and then Rourke then gets sacked on 1st down, but then Calgary is called for too many men anyways for a 10-yard penalty.
I haven't seen that kind of call in a while.
Yeah, Saskatchewan.
The Grey Cup in 2009.
Mhm. But then, yeah, well, much like that game, well, this too many men penalty killed Calgary because Ben Rourke rolls out to the right, he avoided a tripping tackle with his fleet feet, and then he dived into the end zone, take the first lead of the game, 20-18. Right, so that never
Yeah.
impressive majority rushing attack touchdown drive. So
And a reminder of why, costly penalties. Both sides took costly
mhm,
penalties in this game, and that was one for Calgary.
that was one for Calgary, and it yeah, and then pretty much the rest of the third quarter. I mean, not much happened, but yeah, BC did control a lot of the drives because there was like two, I think yeah, Brooks catches and turned up field to convert for 11 yards in 2nd and 10, and then Bard manages 5 yards on a long path across the field to force a punt. And then yeah, Rourke RPOs and throws to Hatcher to convert on 1st down for 18 yards. Horvath catches for 9 yards and then a short yardage. And then yeah, Rourke barely gets there was an interesting moment in the middle of the third quarter where Rourke, like he threw an incompletion, but after review he got sacked because his knee touched the ground as he threw the ball. So that was a sack too. And then on Calgary's next drive, they'll call for procedure on 2nd and 9 to go to 2nd and 14. Adams is chased away in the pocket by Betts and throws incomplete to force the 2-and-out punt. So it's another 2-and-out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-and-out punt for BC. And oh yeah, and then another thing was like McAllister bobbled the punt near the end of the third quarter, but then he returned it to the 17 anyways. So that was like a good save for him there.
Would have been nice for our special teams unit to step up and make a play there, put us in the red zone. But in the end, they got the one turnover at the end of the game that matters. So
Yeah, well, I also want to say that, yeah, in the fourth quarter, the Lions stats did show improvement after 3 quarters to be neck and neck with Calgary at this point, and I was right. So I was saying that, yeah, they were controlling this game, and stats proved that in the beginning of the fourth, and then Horvath had like a powerful 8-yard run on 1st down, doesn't get any on 2nd down, but then yeah, White nails the 42-yard field goal to extend the Lions lead to 23-18. Adams avoids sacks and gets to 3rd and short of a run. But then here's where Adams is taken out from injury because he ran for a 1st down and then his head hits the turf and then he goes into it. Well, he got up on his own. He went to the tent, but he wasn't around for the rest of the game and likely for another game or two.
that's
So
concussion protocol, and you hate to see that.
yeah, that
Makes
was
me really sad.
I saw that like he was down there for a long while. And I thought, oh no, they're gonna get the this ambulance out for him, and they was in the tent. So yeah, there was didn't have to see that, but yeah, it was kind of that was like the turning point for us in this game with him being out because then Josh Love slots in as the main quarterback for the rest of the game because and as Mills. Oh yeah, Mills was also the reason why I put Choquette in that running back in the statistics read was because Mills was also out with injury around the same time too. So that was like you're down your starting quarterback and your starting running back with Calgary, and it was a miracle that it was as close as it was.
Indeed.
Right, especially yeah, like we're just gonna you know like Josh Love did okay in this first in the drive after, but yeah, he punted here and then yeah, punted here and then like Hicks called offside on the hard count for a boost of 5 yards on BC's next drive. So that was like the hard count that Rourke utilized to help with the offense. And then Horvath catches and rumbles upfield on 2nd and 7 for 15 yards. And then Horvath secures his 100 plus yard rushing game with a 5-yard 1st down run. And then McKinnis catches in the flat with no stamp in the vicinity and rushes up the field and out of bounds for 27 yards. When Adams, I did see Adams back on the sideline, but he had like a towel over his head, so I knew he was going to be gone for the rest of the game at that time. Right? And
Yeah,
but yeah,
hate to see it.
then Calgary called timeout on 2nd and 7 just to put the time for
Save one before they lose
and
it at the
3 minute
3 minute
warning.
warning because you
Yeah,
always lose one if you haven't used it. So that's smart clock management, and we don't see enough
yeah.
coaches doing that.
Yeah, it was especially smart because the play immediately after that timeout, Book threw the interception. Well, wasn't his fault, but it was still an interception. And then Johnson Jr. returns it to the 10. And there was a roughing the passer challenge by Buck Pierce, but I thought that was like out of desperation once again.
Yeah, the
And
radio
then
guys were describing it as like a bit of a coin flip, and I don't like those kind of challenges. Don't do it unless you're like absolutely certain because you might need it
absolutely.
later.
Yeah, well, they didn't need it, but I mean, still, like there could be a
Yeah,
time where you do need it. But yeah, so basically 10-yard line, and then BC's call for defensive path interference, and I'm like, okay, just let them score, and they did, and like the easiest kind of touchdown for Calgary to score when you're down to your backup quarterback and running back, right? Like the easiest one, right? We just gave them, they gave them that, and then immediately after that touchdown, guess what? Barrio fumbled the kickoff to
and
36, and I'm like, we're losing,
it's like
right?
it's over.
It's over. Like they're just screwing up so many times. Like there's no way. And then after 3 minute warning, Love's pass is batted down by Sankey, and then I'm like, okay, so it's like 26-23. Like if Max Tammany makes this field goal, I can't see BC scoring a touchdown to win this game, right? But this is the second big part of the game where he misses the 41-yard field goal, keep it at 26-23.
And no rouge again because the ball
No
wasn't
Rouge.
touched in the end zone.
No, and yeah, that rule change helped us for that. And
It did.
Work Work nearly froze another pick on first down as Calgary got away with roughing the passer. There, at least that's what I saw. Um,
Yep, I'd agree.
but McInnes catches a deep throw for 59 yards to the Calgary 11 on 2nd and 10. I was like, oh, yes. And then on 2nd and 10, Hatcher catches a quick pass on like terrible cover zero defense, and it just runs it into like it was a quick pass, and boom, we take the lead 30-26 with the all important extra point being good, right? So we're going like we went from it's so over to so back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that little chart there would be like a roller coaster up and down. It's so over. We're so back. It's so over.
I put the BMS at the masculine urge to say it's so over. But the masculine urge to say we're so back 5 minutes after we're saying we're so over.
Literally.
And like wow, we're just stunned, right? Like, but again, they still had some time left, and this is where the Mike Benavides defense nearly showed up. Like, it's not Mike Benavides, it's Mike Benavides here because
They did. We got to give credit where credit is due. They showed up.
yeah, McAllister returned the kickoff to the 46, and that was infuriating. I'm like, oh no, that's like really good field position. And Brissett catches a deflected pass that could have been an interception on 2nd and 10 to get to the BC 32. So that was another near miss there. And then Bill Pott rushes for 4 yards to convert on 2nd and 4, and then Jones catches and converts for 10 yards. And
So what were they? They were down at
they're
like the
they're like
18
right
or
there.
something, wasn't it? Yeah, right
They're
about to
right
win the
there.
game.
We're about to choke it again, right? Like it's despite that touchdown. And then TJ Lee saves us and makes all of British Columbia exhale, to quote the great Jim Houston. Right?
He
Exhale,
does.
British Columbia, because he intercepts Love in the end zone, and
And
BC
that's it.
takes formation. That's it. And I said, as the BC Lions take another stressful W in Calgary to jump over them in the standings to fourth place. So they got to 4-5, and then Calgary drops to 4-6. So yeah, that was incredibly another stressful win. That's like back-to-back one now. So yeah, we need this 10-day-ish break.
I say it's well deserved.
well deserved, yeah. Because but again, like I said earlier in the episode, it's not going to get any easier because next week we have Saskatchewan, and we know how good they are, like how much they've dominated us over the past 2 3 years, right?
They have, and not in a good way. But chance to get a little revenge and really get right back into the thick of the playoff race if they can get the win next week.
And right back to 500, which was unthinkable for us like a month ago, right? It's
Really.
just and yeah, yeah. I'll give my props to BC for just staying, staying mentally strong, especially in this game when it looked like they were about to choke another game away, and then it just held on by the skin of their teeth. And I'm going like, yeah, you can't be doing that against Trevor Harris. Like Trevor Harris will 100% win the game if it was a similar situation, right?
Yeah,
And
he probably would, but they get away with it because it's Calgary, and that's okay.
but yeah, so yeah, after this game, I mean, BC is still pretty healthy, but yeah, Calgary's got questions in the near term now. Where it's looking like it's not looking good for them in the near
No,
term. But yeah, again, we're just hoping that they keep struggling so that we don't have to worry about them come September or October, right?
that's the hope.
um, it's the hope. Also, Winnipeg needs to start losing too, and basically, yeah, just every week, it's just we're hoping somebody below us keeps losing, somebody near us keeps losing, and maybe Saskatchewan and Edmonton, maybe they can start losing some games too when they're not playing each other,
Just a
right?
little break, and then somebody dropping a game would be good.
Yeah, because I think yeah, Saskatchewan will be good for at least 10+ wins.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and maybe and Edmonton as well. I guess it depends on what happens because they're gonna be playing tomorrow against Toronto, the early game. So we'll see what happens there. I can't believe it, but I'm saying go Toronto.
Isn't that shocking?
No, I have to immediately wash my mouth after I finish recording. So
Literally, how dare you say that?
yep. We said that in the 24 Grey Cup as well, or we were wanting Toronto to win just
We did.
because
Yes, we
because we
did.
hate Winnipeg that much, right?
Yeah, we did say that.
So yeah, I'm gonna go wash my mouth out, but yeah,
You should.
the end end of the episode right now. So yeah, it was a never happy episode for us, which I'm glad for, right? Considering how tough it's been these past well, especially in July, right, how tough it's been. But yeah, it's a nice change of fortunes, and let's hope it continues. Uh,
Let's hope for that. Absolutely.
so yeah, so no preview really because we already did that in the last episode. So yeah, so you can uh, you can you see our social media links in the description, or Twitter, or Blue Sky, or Instagram accounts, and like, comment, and subscribe, and hype as well, which I like seeing too. And then of course, if you want to send any long form messages to us in the form of anything, right? You can just fire us an email to our Gmail account at section214@gmail.com. That's sectiontwofourteen@gmail.com.
Well done. You got
Proud of
it all
myself for
right.
that. Yeah.
I can't even do
Yeah.
that spelling right anymore.
Yeah. Um, it helps getting used to it now. Getting in the groove of making episodes for this season. But yeah, that'll be it for us today. So yeah, happy birthday, Hammer, if you're watching this. And yeah, we'll see you probably Monday, next month, the Monday after. So yeah, we'll see you then. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye.